I want to commend the Alliance for what you've done, and I remind myself and my colleagues and everyone in the room. Someone made the comment, well, here's another group asking for money or begging for money or something like that. And I remind myself that we're asking you to do a job for us. It isn't that you've come begging in the past years. I believe this council has a plan, has a vision, starting with facade programs, OPA programs, rebuilding buildings. The courthouse is coming as a result of that. There is investment starting to happen by the private sector because we've kickstarted this. And you and the chamber's been there and been vital, but I think in the process of being revitalized even more so. Our facade programs and our OPA programs don't mean anything if we have beautiful buildings and there's nobody coming downtown or there's nobody in those businesses. And I look at this as something we're asking you to help us get people downtown. And I've reviewed every document you bring us. Your operating statement, I'm not sure what Councilwoman Franklin's looking for. We all belong to a lot of nonprofits and businesses, and you have a balance sheet, and you have operating income, and you have income statements, and those income statements show where every penny goes. And as I've looked at those, and I know Councilwoman Franklin and every member of this council has probably been to every event you've ever had. It's clear.
And we appreciate that.
Well, I didn't say it for that reason, but it's clear that where those expenditures are going are where we've been and where you're going with those. And now you can argue, and somebody can debate, you ought not to be doing this, the city ought not to be doing it. But my point is that you are doing a great service for us. And when we talk about the chamber, I trust we'll be able to say the same thing, that we, the city, all of us collectively have a vision and a plan, and this is an integral part of it. Your part is bringing people downtown, and I think you've done that very successfully during tough times. I would comment, agree with my council colleague Machissick, having, before I was on this council, was the chair of the Downtown Committee for the Alliance, and always it has been the goal to be self-sufficient. But you're only 3 years old? About 2 to 3 years old.
Going on 4.
Okay, going on 4.
2006.
And though I'm not on the council, I have no ties for everybody in the audience that wants to tie Councilman Robinson and us that we ought to recuse ourselves. We have no ties, pecuniary ties to you. But ultimately, the goal would be for you to be self-sufficient. And I agree to step this direction, not only moving some costs down for us, in light of you needing to become self-sufficient, but also given the current status of what we're going through with trying to balance our budget. With that comment said, let me ask the one question I have. Someone brought this up in some extraneous document about the P-bid, and that you were in violation or in violation of your contract because you hadn't produced the P-bid. And my only response to that is you standing there this past year said to us, or the year before, we think it's not the appropriate time to try to move a P-bid forward. Correct me, I'm trying to pull this out of memory. That with all that's gone on or hasn't gone on, that with downtown really just flopping around a few years back, that for you to go forward and say, okay, business people, you need to form a P-bid, which is a taxing organization. Businesses vote to tax themselves. Mm-hmm. You came to us, and it was part of the contract. My question would be, is it a part of it now? But you said you felt like it was not appropriate to move forward when not a lot of things were happening. Facades weren't moving, you hadn't done a lot. So I would just remind my colleagues that I don't think we voted on it, but I do believe that by assent we said, all right, that probably isn't the appropriate time to push forward with the P-bid. Just a little bit of history. My question would be, because it's been raised by a number of other people about the Chamber and Alliance, are we duplicating? Where are we on that P-bid? Is it part of this contract? And if so, we need to say, we agree with that and let's leave it in there. Or no, let's take it out. Or that's a chamber function or something else. Right. I think we just
there is an item in there, but it's not called P-bid. I think it was a year or so ago that we quit calling it that. And I totally, your memory is good on that. Bob, because we did say that the timing wasn't right, that a lot of preliminary work needed to be done before the merchants and businesses would be ready to form a tax district. What is in this year's proposal is to continue working with businesses, aiming toward putting together a business association, banning business association. And that's what I would like to see us do. I think we were moving really well on it, and then the economy, as we all know, in November took a big swing, and that made a difference in terms of a couple of key people in that were working on it. But I would like to see us continue in a low-key fashion, and that's in getting people involved. That's why I particularly mentioned the Phineas Festival of Lights, because we had the best, the way that was staged, we had the most business people involved in a different way. And I'd like to go forward with that answer to your question.